So the voice actor for Lucia has apparently been found. Manny Perez shares identical facial similarities with Lucia. She starred in Law and Order alongside the GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 actors Stephen Ogg, Ned Luke and Roger Clark. Also, her voice is pretty much an identical match if you listen to this clip.
Is there anything, just a smidge, that you could give us on what you're doing right now, that you're on the set of?
What I'm doing right now, it's big, but NDAs. That's all I can say.
I got you. I understand. Okay, is it a TV show or a movie?
I can't even get into that.
Oh, action comedy?
Man, I wish if I could, I would. But you know, I like making my monies, and and you know, they love NDAs. So
I totally understand. All right, so we're gonna maybe something will slip. And then we'll be out with that. But I can't pull it out of you. I understand that. You got your guard up. I know how it is.
So the clip you've just heard is her on a podcast about 2 years ago talking about a big project she's working on, of which she can't disclose the information due to NDAs. But also it's worth noting that she's based in New York, where Rockstar's motion capture studio is located. This is where all the mocap work was done for GTA 5, as previously confirmed by Ned Luke, Stephen Ogg and Solo. This has not been confirmed by Rockstar, so it's worth taking all of this with a pinch of salt, but there is no denying that she has some physical similarities as well as the voice sounding very similar too. I put a video out earlier today comparing the voice of Don Purcell versus the person that plays Jason in the trailer, and I think there's a lot of similarities there. A lot of people have disagreed in the comments, and understandably so. There's reasons for and there's reasons for against. That video was by no way me saying it was definitely Dominic Purcell in that video. I think a lot of people assumed that because I'd made a video out of theory that I was screaming and shouting that it was definitely the person. That's not what I was saying. I was saying the voice is very similar, the aesthetic is very similar. There's a few reasons to believe it's not. Now the next thing I want to talk about is that GTA 5 source code was stolen back in 2022 by a hacker that has now been put behind bars / in a controlled hospital environment. I did a full video about this, and you can watch that on the top right hand side now if you want to learn more about that. But the source code shows Rockstar's early Rage engine plus the GTA 5 map, the GTA Python script and a Bully 2 file. So from what we understand, and my source on this is the GTA 6 trailer countdown on Twitter, it appears that the person that bought the source code for $4,000 didn't leak it intentionally and is now trying to release all the files shortly to take credit for the leak. And from the screenshot here, you can pause the screen. I'm not going to drag out this video by reading all the messages, but you can pause the screen. This is the conversation with the person that the source code supposedly came from. Now, what's interesting about this is Bully 2 was in the works, and there's actually previous interviews about this, which you can find on YouTube if you just search Bully 2 developer. There's some people that worked at Rockstar back in the early days when Bully 2 was in development, but eventually the project was axed in favour of Red Dead Redemption 2, GTA 5, GTA 6. There was too much going on at Rockstar to dedicate resources to it, especially when a game like that doesn't really justify a massive team's effort to produce. For example, why waste the time making Bully 2 when GTA 6 could potentially be on the horizon? By working on Bully 2, they would just be delaying the release of Red Dead Redemption 2, then GTA 6, and all the progress they've made with GTA Online. And I say progress with quotations because I would argue that GTA Online has got worse over the years, but each to their own. Now, this has sparked a load of theories from a lot of people saying that Bully 2 is in the works and it's going to happen. I really don't think it will, and I can say that with a fair amount of confidence. Rockstar did throw a lot of resources at Bully 2, and they initially did start development, scripting, building game worlds, and they said to a load of developers, hey, go out, create a load of missions, and we'll see how we can build this into a story and whether it has any weight to it. A lot of developers did work on it. A lot of developers ended up leaving Rockstar Games. It was pretty much determined that it wasn't worth putting out there and it wasn't worth finishing as a game. And when I say it wasn't worth finishing, apparently there'd only been about 6 months to a year's worth of development on it. This game, even with another couple of years worth of work on it, wouldn't be ready to release. But also, it would be released to a not very warm, receptive welcome. Of course, there are people out there that are Bully fanatics, and I've actually spoke to a couple of Bully fanatics on my Discord. A few people have messaged me and reached out to me to have a chat, and the general understanding I get from a lot of the people that played Bully, they seem to have the impression it was a bigger game than it was. Bully was a big-ish game and it did quite well on PlayStation 2, for example, but it by no means was a industry-leading forward-facing game. A lot of people are mad at Rockstar for not releasing it, but I don't quite understand how that could be the case when, if I, for example, and obviously I'm not, but if I was in charge of running a multi-billion-dollar business and I had thousands of employees, in fact Rockstar Games have 6,000 employees, and I had to make a calculated decision on what was going to be best for the future of my business, working on a niche game that did quite well on PlayStation 2 for a PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4 format isn't worth time, effort, money and resource when they know they can put all of those developers on Grand Theft Auto 6 and recover that investment with no problems at all. Now the next thing I want to talk about is because this source code was leaked, what damage can that actually cause to Rockstar? What does that mean? Well, the source code tells us a lot about the Rage engine that they use for GTA 5, but it's generally understood that the game engine they're using for GTA 6 is different. Now Rockstar haven't made a physical confirmation on this, but what we do understand from this is from some of the code that's within Red Dead Redemption 2, it doesn't seem to correlate with a lot of the code in GTA 5, which makes us think that Red Dead Redemption 2 was on a different game engine altogether. So they wouldn't go back to a GTA 5 game engine after going to the Red Dead Redemption 2 engine, if that makes sense. It's very likely that the Grand Theft Auto 6 game engine is a more advanced version of the Red Dead Redemption 2 game engine. Now, how will this impact Rockstar? Well, two things I want to say. Firstly, it came on Christmas Eve. Now, a lot of the people at Rockstar that have been working their arse off for the past couple of years, obviously on the same month that they've announced GTA 6 and all these developers have worked really hard, they've now had an intrusion into their business. Obviously the intrusion was last year, but the results from that are now coming out into the public light. Firstly, it's not very fair on Rockstar. Like, admittedly they should have better security, but it's still not right that the developers have to go through this hassle. But secondly, the person that's just been charged with the leaks that happened back in 2022, they are most likely going to be facing serious repercussions from this. Rockstar originally took the hacker to court over £5 million worth of losses, but now the source code has been leaked and it's now available publicly online. This damage can significantly increase. So it's very likely that this hacker could be recharged, especially as it's been proven that the source code was sold. It wasn't accidentally leaked by this person that hacked it. He physically sold the code for monetary gain, which is a whole different thing. Something that I found quite interesting about the fact the code was leaked was that the hacker only sold it for $4,000. Now, the source code arguably could be worth a lot more than that, because especially to other game developers, having some insight into how the Rockstar Advanced Game Engine works, a lot of people commented on my previous videos saying that Rockstar Advanced Game Engine was for GTA San Andreas because of that documentary that came out, The Game Changers. Well, every single game engine from Rockstar has been called the Rockstar Advanced Game Engine. They've just been given number denotations. So they've been given like Rage 2, Rage 3. They've had internal names. We don't know what those internal names are, but they all are referred to as Rockstar's Advanced Game Engine. But the leak of this code could be seriously detrimental to Rockstar, mainly because it gives some industry insight into how their game engine works, but also could point out to some of the features that were supposed to be in GTA 5 but never were, which then starts a whole new wave of speculation about what would be in GTA 6, which then adds more internal pressure if people can see that, oh, we were supposed to have a refueling mechanic in GTA 5, which was something that was actually predicted to have been in the game, which never happened. Now people are saying that we must have that in GTA 6. Now, the reasons why we think we have that in GTA 6 have nothing to do with the source code, but that is an example of how the source code can have a detrimental effect to people's expectations of Grand Theft Auto 6. And the last thing I want to talk about in this video is actually going back a year ago to how this hack took place. A lot of people seem to be giving this hacker a lot of credit for being a genius for hacking Rockstar. All he did was create spoof email addresses, email the employees of Rockstar pretending to be a password reset, which is just a common phishing scam that do not do this, but you can do this, and just directed them to a web page to redirect their password. That page redirected to another page, which then filled in some forms for him, which gave the hacker the login information for the employees' Slack channels. Now, Slack is just like a messaging service for businesses, and he just logged in and then just went snooping. It wasn't like a really skillful integrated hack. The only reason other people haven't done this is just because it's not morally right. There's ethical hacking and there's non-ethical hacking. He hacked Rockstar Games for monetary gain. A lot of people are saying in my videos that Rockstar need better security, and yes they do, but a hack like this is something that's really difficult to prevent. It just comes down to social engineering. The email this guy created looked so believable that a Rockstar employee believed it was a password reset email, and unfortunately the person fell for it. If Rockstar in any way, shape or form with 6,000 employees had even remotely bad security, we'd have a lot more information than this. We would have had this source code 10 years ago. The fact that they've managed to keep everything under wraps and keep 6,000 employees' work lives and private lives completely private from the public eye for 10 years, 10 plus years for that matter, you've got to give them credit. And I've seen a lot of theories of people saying that Rockstar should have NDAs for their employees. All the employees have NDAs. They're all signed into contractual legal agreements. NDAs don't protect you from this. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this topic. Hopefully you've learned something. Hopefully you can take something away from this video. Thank you all for watching. If you want to join in the conversation, my Discord is down below, and also my Instagram's down below as well if you want to drop that page a follow. Thanks for watching. I hope you've all had an amazing Christmas, and I'll catch you all tomorrow.